Hello, and welcome to the Not So Epic Theater, the place where we see what could have happened in some of the most epic Bible stories if the people decided to not do what God had asked them to do. We begin our story as Jesus himself appeared to the disciples. Let's see what happened many days later when the disciples were gathered together inside a locked room. I still can't believe that Jesus died.
I know. I wish he was here with us right now.
Suddenly, Jesus appeared in the room with the disciples. Peace be with you. Is it really you, Jesus?
How did this happen? You died. You were buried.
Why are you frightened? Look at my hands. Look at my feet. You can see that it's really me. The disciples were filled with joy and wonder. Jesus, their Lord and Master, was alive again. Jesus explained to the disciples that everything had happened exactly like it was meant to. Jesus had died for the sins of mankind and had risen 3 days later. Then Jesus explained to the disciples that they were witnesses to these things. It was now their job to tell others about him. Then Jesus led the disciples to Bethany, blessed them, and was taken up to heaven. Praise God, Jesus is alive.
It's a miracle. And now we need to tell everyone about him.
Right, let's do it.
Hold on a second. Before we run off and start talking to people, we may need to think about this for a little bit.
What do you mean? Jesus is alive, and he just told us to tell everyone.
Yeah, but Jesus was arrested and put to death. What if people get mad at us for talking about him? I hadn't thought of that. They might arrest us. Then we'd be the ones getting beaten and put to death. Does that really sound like something you want to happen?
But Jesus is alive. People need to know. How are they going to know if we don't tell them?
But that's just it. People might not believe us if we tell them. I hadn't thought of that either. If we tell other people, we could get arrested, beat up, or put to death. And people might not even believe us. Those are all great reasons not to tell anyone what we've seen.
Well, I guess that's true. But if we don't tell other people about Jesus, what are we supposed to do instead?
You still got that fishing boat you're always talking about.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've taken her out, but yeah, I still got my boat.
Well, there's your answer. Instead of talking about Jesus, let's go fishing. Who's with me? Woohoo! Fishing! Hooray! What do you say, Peter?
Well, you've convinced me. Race you to the shore.
Wait for me, fellas.
And so, because the disciples chose to go fishing instead of telling other people about Jesus, no one else in the entire world ever found out that Jesus was alive. The message never spread, there were no churches, and no one ever learned about salvation or forgiveness. The end. Thanks everybody for joining us today on the Not So Epic Theater. Have a great night.